Still warm.
Yeah. Buried under heavy dust, the weight of the day turning pale, stillness settling in the marrow of the oak, a quiet fever that refuses to break. I see the map of every spark that fell, not traced in the cooling skin of stone. We don't need the bright noise of a flame, just a pulse that remains when it ends, wrapped in the wool of a quiet room, finding the peace in the way things age. No rush to find the next morning star, just keeping the center from turning cold. The ash is a blanket for the spirit, soft edges on a hard life, learning to love the way we fade into the blue rising from the gray. Wait for it. The heat stays in the grain, let it drift, soft into the light. Stays in the grain. The heat stays in the grain. Teal circles floating in the dark air, smoke rising like a ghost leaving home. Memory is a heavy coat we wear until the morning brings a different view. There is comfort in the fading red, a slow release of what we held tight. The seasons move, but this moment stalls, caught in the middle of a long breath. Listen to the wood, settle its debts, cracking open to reveal the truth, that even when the fire is gone, the stones still remember the sun. Looking at the ceiling through the haze, everything feels like a slow song now. Just a small pulse in the gray, refusing to let the winter in. Yeah. Still warm, let it go. The pulse remains. Under the ash. Still warm. Wrist in the strainer, no one is drainer, no one is drainer. I am the trainer, I am the gainer. Look at the orange, look at the orange, look at the orange. Bust off the door hinge, bust off the door hinge, bust off the door hinge. Teal in the cup, teal in the cup. Don't look it up, don't look it up. I got the weight, I got the weight. Unlock the gate, unlock the gate. Gate. Orange in the mesh, orange in the mesh, orange in the mesh. Heat on my chest, heat on my chest, heat on my chest. Teal on the sill, teal on the sill, teal on the sill. Look what I built, look what I built, look what I built, built. Heavy to metal, heat in the kettle. I never settle, I never settle, I never settle. Fine like the dust, fine like the dust, fine like the dust. In me I trust, in me I trust. Sift through the pile, sift through the pile. I like the style, I like the style, I like the style. Orange is hot, orange is hot. Top of this hot, top of the spot, top of the spot, spot. Orange in the mesh, orange in the mesh, orange in the mesh. Heat on my chest, heat on my chest, heat on my chill. Teal on the sill, teal on the sill, teal on the sill. Look what I built, look what I built, look what I built, built. Heat, teal, yeah. Open the hatch, feel the pressure drop. Deep teal vacuum in the urban block. The surface splits but the core stays. Burning through the dust of the old days. Burning through the dust of the old days. Listen to the crack of the burnt stone. I stand heavy in the dead zone alone. I stand heavy in the dead zone alone. No sun required for this kind of heat. Just the pulse of the heart on the street. Black rock split by the weight of the post. Deep teal frozen in a dead air space. Pressure cooked the soul till the skin breaks. On tricks carved in the burnt skin. I am the spark in the winter wind. No sun needed for the internal flame. Watch the pattern shift in the dark void. Stone cold outside but the core screams. Heavy boots crushing through the fine dust. Every crack tells a warmth from a false source. I generate the heat from the gut bone. Teal vacuum, keep the light tight locked. Crack rock burning in the deep freeze. Orange light cutting through the teal void. Ash falling silent on the cold ground. Ash falling silent on the 0 point. Built to withstand on the cold ground. Pure energy. Built to withstand the 0 point. Mental fortress built on a cold bed. Survival math in the geometry of cracks. Street level logic in a metaphorical frame. Every strike on the flint is a lesson. Hardened by the weight of the atmosphere. Just the dry heat of a concentrated mind. They want the warmth but they fear the burn. Keep the perimeter tight in the teal mist. Primordial pulse in a modern waste. Don't look for mercy in the ice field. Look for the orange break in the black as I stay solid. I stay solid while mosaic of the struggle. Crack rock burning in a deep freeze. Orange light cutting through the teal void. Ash falling silent on the cold ground. Ash falling silent on the 0 point. Built to withstand on the cold ground. Pure energy. Built to withstand the 0 point. Microphone's core is the dead zone. I am the reporter of the DP, analyzing the structural failure of the weak. They crack under the chill of the void. I crack because the inner is too much a reservoir of fire in a frozen chest. No decorative words, just a hard truth. Geminic wisdom for the lost souls. Ash on the tongue of the dark space. Solidify that energy in a frozen place. Check the pressure. Yeah. Heavy heat. 1, 2. 1, 2. Black grit stacking on the floorboards. Mountain of sand rising in the dark. Pressure building under a heavy crust. Red ring circling the base like wire. Hot blood moving through the pipes. Manual precision in every single strike. No room for the weak or the slow. No room for the weak or the slow. Technical heat coming from the center. I am the mountain of black suit. Moving with a weight you can't lift. Heavy there. Heavy there. Can't lift it. Smolder in the lungs like thick oil. Steam rising off the top of the scalp. Waiting for the moment to erupt. Burn it. Let it burn. Core burning through the black sand. Red rings, hot rings. Pressure building in the deep center. Heat up, rise up. Technical strike with the heavy hand. Core burn, yeah. Core burning through the black sand. Rise up. Stomping through the suit with heavy boots. Basement smells like burnt rubber and wool. Rings of heat cutting through the grit. Precision timing on the internal clock. Black sand shifting under the weight. I am the villain in the smoke. I am the villain in the smoke. I am the villain in the smoke. Comic book power in the rough palms. Cracking the ceiling with a single breath. No manual needed for this technical blast. Just raw energy trapped in the grain. Heavy there. Locked down. Watch the smoke twist like a vine. Climbing out the throat into the air. Climbing out the throat into the air. The breakthrough is coming for the walls. Break it. Take it. Core burning through the black sand. Red rings. Hot rings. Pressure building in the deep center. Heat up. Rise up. Technical strike with the heavy hand. Core burn. Yeah. Core burning through the black sand. Rise up. Black sand. Stay hot. Red rings. Stay heavy. The pressure never drops. Never drops. Technical precision. Right there. Yeah. Let it smolder. Burn. Keep it burning. Yeah. Pale J basin resting on the pine plank. Dust from the decades piled in a gray bank. Circular patterns like the rings of an old oak. Cold to the touch while the city starts to soak. No room for the weak or the ones who fold. I keep the focus tight in the bitter cold. Gray silk settled on the bottom of the dish. Everything I ever wanted, every single wish. Buried in the suit of the daily heavy grind. Only one thing left inside this frame of mine. A singular spark at the axis of the mess. Ignoring the noise and the weight of the stress. Symmetry of the struggle, balance on the blade. Watching how the colors in the background fade. Dark green merging with the yellow of the bile. I stay centered in the middle of the trial. One hot ember in the center of the pit. It never dies. Everything else is just ash and grit. Watch the heat, steady temperature while the world goes numb. Waiting for the harvest in the heavy beat drum. Burn slow, bell. Heavy boots clicking on the frozen dark street. I don't need a coat when I carry this heat. The bowl is my skull and the ash is the past. Building up the volume but it never could last. Discarded memories like burnt out cigarette ends. I don't look for favors or the comfort of friends. Look at the core where the orange light breeds. Underneath the surface where the dragon sees. Sustained purpose in a world of distraction. Total commitment to the physical action. The symmetry is perfect, the focus is pure. Finding a way to survive and endure. The pale green wall is a barrier of stone. I handle the business while I sit on the throne of gray dust and the remnants of the fire. Climbing up the ladder in the dirty wire. One hot ember in the center of the pit. It never dies. Everything else is just ash and grit. Watch the heat, steady temperature while the world goes numb. Waiting for the harvest in the heavy beat drum. Burn slow, bell. Keep the core hot. The core stays hot. Ignore the ash. Let it pile up. Let it pile up. Just keep that one spark. That's all you got. Yeah. Burn. process is internal. You see the ash, but you don't see the alchemy. Success isn't loud, it's a slow burn in a quiet room. Yeah. Yeah. Silk strands resting heavy on the brass filaments. Violet embers pulsing beneath the iron grate. It's a translation of the spirit into lubricated assets. Ownership is the only dialect I speak fluently now. Like a 92 Drazen Petrovich released from the wing. Pure rotation while the violet heat bleeds through the seams. I'm focused on the equity. The dividends arriving in silent envelopes like winter air. Dining on braised lamb neck and saffron fused grains. Abase the price infused grains while the rest of the world debates the price of a chain. I'm checking the infrastructure of the legacy, building a fortress out of mulberry fibers and patience. The tension in the air feels like high voltage pressure, a delicate power vibrating in the hollow of the palm. We move like ghosts through the boardroom. No loud announcements or televised victories. No loud announcements or televised victories. Just a steady combustion of the soul into currency. I'm looking for the obscure archives of 94, reffing for the obscure archives of 94, referencing bench players who never missed a defensive rotation. The work is the reward. It is. The shimmer on the mesh is just a byproduct of the friction. The shimmer on the mesh is just a byproduct of the friction. Anthralac heat turning reality into a dividend. Escrow counts tucked under the floorboards of the mind. Sipping chilled hibiscus while the industry burns itself out. Sipping chilled hibiscus while the industry burns itself out. We stay unbothered by the seasonal shifts. The portfolio is an organism breathing in the dark. Breathing in the dark, dense syllables stacked like bricks in a brownstone. Every bar a brick and every brick a piece of the foundation. Quiet energy manifesting in the orange heat of the coals. The fiber is strong enough to hold the weight of the crown without the need for a ceremony or a spotlight. Just to work, just to work, just to work. The subtle art of becoming exactly who we intended. It's the quiet ones you have to watch. The heat is in the center, not the surface. Keep building. The mesh holds everything together. Everything. Quietly now, yeah. Yeah. Listen. The pressure builds within the silent vault, under layers of ancient ice and basalt, rooted in a sea of frozen science salt. Hardened amber peaks rising without a fault. I am the furnace tucked inside the mountain, molten memory pouring like a heavy fountain, forged in the weight of a dying sun. The work of the heavy hand is never done. Look at the jagged teeth biting the sky. Orange fire burning while the stars pass by. Orange fire burning while the stars pass by. I walk the tectonic plates of my own mind, searching for the pieces that the elders left behind. Crushing the carbon until the diamond speaks. Standing on the summit of these burning peaks. The void is cold, but the center is heat. Recording the rhythm of a planetary beat. Planetary beat.
The engine is breathing inside the stone, waiting in the dark on a jagged throne. Small sparks dancing like seeds of a storm, taking a pour, taking a shape that the universe can't form.
Hold the heat. Microscopic power in a single bright spark, cutting through the silence of the teal dark. Every orb is a promise of a new day, floating in the ether in a grand display. I don't need a map where the gravity fails. Writing my gospel in the mineral scales. Writing my gospel in the mineral scales. The landscape is alien, but the spirit is home. Carving out a temple in the orange chrome. Carving out a temple in the orange chrome. It's the alchemy of staying true to craft. Building the vessel in a sturdy raft. Pressure makes the crystal or it breaks the bone. I'd rather be the fire standing all alone. The apex is sharp and the base is deep, waking up the power while the neighbors sleep.
The engine is breathing inside the stone, waiting in the dark on a jagged throne. Small sparks dancing like seeds of a storm, taking a pour, taking a shape that the universe can't form. Hold the heat.
Orange peaks, till deep. The engine hums, it hums. Formation under the weight. The fire stays lit. Always, always. Check.
Silver ash is soft. I press a line. Small heat wakes up. Wait for the cloud. The scent is here. The scent is long. It's long. I am a child in a white garden. White garden. Red silk moves in the cold air. I remember the water. I remember the sun. I remember the sun. The sun. The scent is here. The scent is long. It's long. I am a child in a white garden. White Time is a circle. Everything is still. Everything is still. How everything is still. Everything is still.
Ash to ash. Pressing down.
Sifting the heavy earth, cooled white dust on the knuckles. The ritual repeats in cycles. One burning spark buried deep, wait for the weight to shift. The grain feels like history. Under the fingernails, moving in a slow loop. A stone bowl holds the time.
Holding the time.
Heat moves through the layers. The wood cracks open. Vapor rises in a thin line. No sound in the room, only the rhythm of the hand.
Back and forth. Back and forth. Back and forth.
Pure sandalwood enters the lungs, grounding the mind to the floor.
This is the old way. Stoic patterns in the dust, the soul of the tree released, dragging the clock to a halt. The soul of the tree released, dragging the clock to a halt, walking through the thick air, submerged in the scent, no words needed now. Submerged, falling back, sifting the heavy earth in circles, the rhythm of the hand circles, in circles, cooled white dust cycles, in cycles, cycles, in cycles. Check the weight, balance the scales, hand on the handle, watch the cloud descend. Softly now. I start with the root, dark circles of earth resting on the plate. Raw potential, waiting for the refinement. The sieve is a tight weave of yellow metal. It catches the pebbles and keeps the grain. My thumb taps the rim to start the rain. A fine silt falls like snow in the woods, covering the bitter with a veil of focus. Every motion is a calculation of gravity. There is no room for a shaky grip, just a steady rhythm of the wrist, building the foundation of the work. Layer upon layer of the refined thought, sifted through, measuring the worth by the depth of the code, purity in the grain. Precision is the only language I speak. Meticulous hands for the legacy I keep. Stay steady now. Yeah. The ancestors worked the same dark soil before the harvest became a commodity. I take their lessons and grind them to powder, removing the husk to find the nutrition. My flow is a reduction sauce on low heat, simmering the ego until only essence remains. You see the surface but miss the geometry, the way the dust settles in the crevices, creating a map of where I have been. Every granular is a day spent in the lab. No shortcuts taken in this kitchen. The texture is the testimony of the time. Layer upon layer of the refined thought, sifted through, measuring the worth by the depth of the code, purity in the grain. Precision is the only language I speak. Meticulous hands for the legacy I keep. Stay steady now. Final dusting is a quiet ceremony, a transformation of the humble into the rare. The eye sees a mound of white velvet, but the tongue knows the dark weight beneath. That is the hidden architecture of the craft to make the difficult look like a light breeze. Look like a light breeze. I put the mesh down and step back. The composition is finished but never done, until it feeds the hunger of the seeker. The grain, the coat, the weight, fine particles in the air. Artisanal breath, leave it on the table. Meticulous, move to the next dish. One more layer, one more. Stay steady. Stoking the fire. Stoking the fire. Striking a match against a box of taxes. The wood catches like a bad habit. Teal hue staining the drywall in the corner. Purple gradients from a cheap plastic lamp. I am watching the resin boil and bubble. It is a small volcanic eruption in my palm. Thinking about the structural integrity of my shoes. The way the souls are thinning out like my patience for the administered state. White pillars of heat rising toward the ceiling. They carried the weight of my car insurance. The smoldering edge is a tiny red eye, watching me count the change on the dresser. Spiritualism on a budget of $0. $0 in the bank. Everything is a ritual if you wait long enough. Up goes the white ash. Up goes the white ash. Up goes the heavy thought. Stoking the fire. Ascending through the violet air. Higher than red. Higher than red. The scent is sharp like an academic critique. A mixture of juniper and impending deadlines. The smoke performs a slow motion dance, twisting like a snake in a velvet suit. I am trying to find the sacred in the mundane. Between the laundry and the student loans, the sparks are brief like a gig contract. Intense for a second, then gray and cold. I stare at the teal horizon of the wall. Wonder if the ancestors take PayPal, or if they prefer this particular brand of incense. The air is cool, but the wood is screaming. A quiet scream that sounds like a radiator. Everything is incontected in a terrifying way. I am the priest of a very messy altar. Very messy indeed. Up goes the white ash. Up goes the heavy thought. Stoking the fire. Ascending through the violet air. To the nub, the purple light is fading. Intentions are just smoke anyway. Just smoking soft. Stay until the air is thick. Rest until the fire is gone.